Contradictions in Seth Rich murder continue to challenge hacking narrative. As rumors swirl that special counsel Robert Mueller is preparing a case against Russians who are alleged to have hacked Democrats during the 2016 election, a conclusion based solely on the analysis of cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike, a Friday op-ed in the Washington Times by retired U.S. Navy Admiral James A. Lyons, Jr. asks a simple, yet monumentally significant question: why haven't congressional investigators or special counsel Robert Mueller addressed the murder of DNC staffer Seth Rich, who multiple people have claimed was WikiLeaks' source of emails leaked during the 2016 U.S. presidential election? Mueller has been incredibly thorough in his ongoing investigations. However, he won't even respond to Kim.com, the New Zealand entrepreneur who clearly knew about the hacked emails long before they were released, claims that Seth Rich obtained them with a memory stick, and has offered to provide proof to the special counsel investigation. On May 18, 2017, .com proposed that if Congress includes the Seth Rich investigation in their Russia probe, he would provide written testimony with evidence that Seth Rich was WikiLeaks' source. In addition to several odd facts surrounding Rich's still unsolved murder, which officials have deemed a botched robbery, forensic technical evidence has emerged which contradicts the CrowdStrike report. The Irvine, CA company partially funded by Google, was the only entity allowed to analyze the DNC servers in relation to claims of election hacking. Notably, CrowdStrike has been considered by many to be discredited over their revision and retraction of a report over Russian hacking of Ukrainian military equipment, a report which the government of Ukraine said was fake news. In connection with the emergence in some media reports which stated that the alleged 80% howitzer D-30 armed forces of Ukraine removed through scrapping Russian-Ukrainian hackers' software gunners, Land Forces Command of the Armed Forces of Ukraine informs that the said information is incorrect. Ministry of Defense of Ukraine asks journalists to publish only verified information received from the competent official sources. Spreading false information leads to increased social tension in society and undermines public confidence in the armed forces of Ukraine. Pay attention, because Mueller is likely to use the CrowdStrike report to support the rumored upcoming charges against Russian hackers. Also notable is that CrowdStrike founder and anti-Putin Russian expat Dmitry Alperovich sits on the Atlantic Council, which is funded by the U.S. State Department, NATO, Latvia, Lithuania, and Ukrainian oligarch Viktor Pinchuk. Who else is on the Atlantic Council? Evelyn Farkas, who slipped up during an MSNBC interview with Mika Brzezinski and disclosed that the Obama administration had been spying on the Trump campaign. The Trump folks, if they found out how we knew what we knew about the Trump staff dealing with Russians, that they would try to compromise those sources and methods, meaning we would not longer have access to that intelligence. Evelyn Farkas. Odd facts surrounding the murder of Seth Rich. The facts that we know of in the murder of the DNC staffer, Seth Rich, was that he was gunned down blocks from his home on July 10, 2016. Washington Metro Police detectives claim that Mr. Rich was a robbery victim, which is strange since after being shot twice in the back, he was still wearing a $2,000 gold necklace and watch. He still had his wallet, key, and phone. Clearly, he was not a victim of robbery, writes Lyons. Another unexplained fact muddying the Rich case is that of a stolen .40 caliber Glock 22 handgun stolen from an FBI agent's car the same day Rich was murdered. D.C. Metro Police said that the theft occurred between 5 and 7 a.m., while the FBI said 2 weeks later that the theft had occurred between midnight and 2 a.m., fueling speculation that the FBI gun was used in Rich's murder. Furthermore, two men working with the Rich family, private investigator and former D.C. Police Detective Rod Wheeler and family acquaintance Ed Butowski, have previously stated that Rich had contacts with WikiLeaks before his death. According to Ed Butowski, an acquaintance of the family, in his discussions with Joel and Mary Rich, they confirmed that their son transmitted the DNC emails to WikiLeaks, writes Lyons. While Wheeler initially told TV station FOX5 that proof of Rich's contact with WikiLeaks lies on the murdered IT staffer's laptop, he later walked the claim back, though he maintained that there was some communication between Seth Rich and WikiLeaks. Wheeler also claimed in recently leaked audio that Seth Rich's brother, Aaron, a Northrop Grumman employee, blocked him from looking at Seth's computer and stonewalled his investigation. Wheeler said that brother Aaron Rich tried to block Wheeler from looking at Seth's computer, even though there could be evidence on it. He said no, he said I have his computer, meaning him, Wheeler said. I said, well, can I look at it? He said, what are you looking for? I said anything that could indicate if Seth was having problems with someone. He said no, I already checked it. Don't worry about it. Aaron also blocked Wheeler from finding out about who was at a party Seth attended the night of the murder. All I want you to do is work on the botched robbery theory and that's it, Aaron told Wheeler Big League Politics. Perhaps the most stunning audio evidence, however, comes from leaked audio of a recorded conversation between Ed Butowski and Pulitzer Prize-winning investigative journalist Seymour Hersh, who told him of a purported FBI report establishing that Seth Rich sent emails to WikiLeaks. What the report says is that sometime in late spring, he makes contact with WikiLeaks, that's in his computer, he says. Anyway, they found what he had done is that he had submitted a series of documents of emails, of juicy emails, from the DNC. Hersh explains that it was unclear how the negotiations went, but that WikiLeaks did obtain access to a password-protected Dropbox where Rich had put the files. All I know is that he offered a sample, an extensive sample, I'm sure dozens of emails, and said I want money. Later, WikiLeaks did get the password, he had a Dropbox, a protected Dropbox, he said. They got access to the Dropbox. Hersh also states that Rich had concerns about something happening to him, and had. The word was passed, according to the NSA report, he also shared this Dropbox with a couple of friends, so that if anything happens to me it's not going to solve your problems, he added. WikiLeaks got access before he was killed. Brennan and Russian disinformation. Hersh also told Butowski that the DNC made up the Russian hacking story as a disinformation campaign, directly pointing a finger at former CIA director, and now MSNBC/NBC contributor, John Brennan as the architect. I have a narrative of how that whole F***ing thing began. It's a Brennan operation, it was an American disinformation, and the Fukin president, at one point, they even started telling the press, they were backfeeding the press, the head of the NSA was going and telling the press, Fuking C***Sicker Rogers, was telling the press that we even know who in the Russian military intelligence service leaked it. Hersh denied that he told Butowski anything before the leaked audio emerged, telling NPR I hear gossip. Butowski took 2 and 2 and made 45 out of it. Technical evidence. As we mentioned last week, .com's assertion is backed up by an analysis done last year by a researcher who goes by the name Forensicator, who determined that the DNC files were copied at 22.6 MB/s, a speed virtually impossible to achieve from halfway around the world, much less over a local network, yet a speed typical of file transfers to a memory stick. Last but not least, let's not forget that Julian Assange heavily implied Seth Rich was a source. Given that A, the Russian hacking narrative hinges on CrowdStrike's questionable reporting, and B, a mountain of evidence pointing to Seth Rich as the source of the leaked emails, it stands to reason that congressional investigators and special counsel Robert Mueller should at minimum explore these leads. As retired U.S. Navy Admiral James A. Lyons, Jr. asks, why aren't they?